Hello to all my friends out there. Hi, you guys. Okay, I thought I would switch it up a little bit. I thought I would pretend I'm going on my walk and you guys would go with me. Here's my fake Louis Vuitton bag. Yes, I got this from New York City. Hi, Jan. Okay, the videos for a while are going to be walk with me. So if you want to walk with me, walk with me. If you don't want to walk with me, don't walk with me. Okay, this video is beware 20 things that have already happened and probably will happen again. What can we do now? Okay, the first thing is like, what 20 things? What 20 things? Warning, dark days are ahead. President Biden. Like dark, the grid goes down, or like, you know, who knows what. Number 2, explosions. Okay, there was an explosion from a fertilizer and the thing is, all these things are probably going to keep happening, maybe. There was an explosion in Beirut. Fertilizer was kept and it blew up. We've had train wrecks with toxic fumes. Those weren't so hot. Okay, number 3, food shortages. The worst one I can think of right off the top of my head was the baby formula. Number 4, contamination of water, soil, which could affect the crops. So this train crash in Ohio and something Palestine kind of contaminated the water, and the fish and the animals died. So thinking, you know, that can't be good for humans. And they're saying, oh, don't worry, it's safe. No. Okay, grid down. Okay, the thing about the grid down is, hi, my food is, I'm working on it. More crime if the grid goes down. Like criminals like to break into a dark house. Worldwide pandemics. Yeah, we had one, and will we have one again? I don't know. These walk-alongs will probably get better. Go at your own speed. Okay, so we might have another one. I've heard some rumors of maybe a bacterial one. All right, crop failures. Yeah, that's happened before in history. That can lead to food shortages. Okay, gas shortages. Yeah, I've been through one of those where you had to like wait in line. What I did is I got up very, very early and parked towards the front of the line. Recession going towards depression. Yeah, we've had a depression in the U.S. Water contamination. This one is bad. This one is really bad. I mean, I wouldn't stay up nights worried about it, but I would stock up on bottled water. Also remember, if the grid goes down, there's not going to be any water. There's not going to be any sewage, so you need to like prepare for that. And they're not going to pick up the trash. Okay, we want to think about the grand solar minimum. So the cold countries are the ones that are going to have the frozen crops and, you know, damage due to ice, snow, sleet, that kind of stuff. There's Bible prophecies of huge hail. What are those things called? Those balls of ice? Okay, hailstones. War, yes. Wild beasts. In the Bible, it talks of wild beasts. We have coyotes, quite a few, and bobcats. They usually don't bother us. They howl close to the house. Looting and rioting. Yes, I've seen that. Mass population shifts. So when like there's war in one place, there can be a massive, what do you want to call it? Shift of the population. We have it here in Mexico, wanting to come here. Homelessness. One of the things that could aggravate the homelessness is the fact that cars are getting very, very expensive. In fact, they're kind of predicting that the seniors probably are going to be priced out. Natural disasters, earthquakes, fires, and tornadoes. We've had quite a few of them. Evil people. Yeah, there's a lot of evil people. Food banks run out of food. This one food bank I went to, they did like a number system. So what I think is the lower numbers were at the bottom. And so if they deemed you, you know, it's supposed to be, you know, random, but I'm pretty sure the lower numbers were on the bottom if they perceived that person to be more hard up. No meat or too expensive. So, okay, that's just a few things I can think of that might possibly happen. Okay, so now let's say if you suspect that the water is contaminated, what can you do? Well, one thing you can do is you can get a goldfish and put it in the water, and if the goldfish dies, it's probably not safe to drink. Probably best to get some air purifiers. When we had the fires here, the big fires, the ash was falling for a long, long time. Soil. Okay, the surface, if the surface is contaminated, it takes a long time for that to dissipate. We had chicken farms up here in Ramona, and I mean, the contamination from the chicken farms went way down. It leached into the soil and the water. So what we want to do is we want to think about protecting some soil so we can grow plants. Let me show you something. Remember my plants? Look, I sprouted this. Just sprinkle the seeds on top, sprinkle a little soil, and water them. That's a few days. Remember this thing, you guys? I saw this and they said just put it close up to the window, and you know, one side has not grown. Okay, so what you can do is you can put excess soil on top of a tarp or in containers. I mean, I'd say no matter where you live, you want to protect some soil. Also, you're going to want to have your own growing containers, pots, whatever you can. You're going to want to store gasoline in case you have to evacuate. The further you can get before you have to stop and get gas, the better. So if you're in a contaminated area and you go, I don't have anywhere to go, and you have a car and gas, you're just going to have to stay in your car. It's better than dying. Okay, and keep your trunk stocked up. Like, I gave my sleeping bag to a homeless guy I know. And I thought, well, he needs it more than I do. And I need the blessings at my age. Okay, so you want to store food. And as you can see, I have mostly cans because I don't want anything happening to my food. Water, especially. I refill my water for cheap. Okay, today I made beef jerky. Here it is. This is the way the dogs and I like it. I just baked it at 250 until it was done. Here it is. And then I already ate one with some coarse sea salt. So the dogs and I, that's the way we like it. So I did that today. I'm going through my food. This is 4.5 months worth of soup and crackers. So these soups are a good thing to store. I want to mention something. This brand is really good, but it's very expensive. It's $3.29 for 2. But if something happens, you'll be glad you have it. Okay, how many minutes has it been? Oh, it's not 10 minutes yet. No, you can't be lightweight. Prophecy. A man was standing on a tall hill with the Lord Jesus Christ. As they looked down, a great amount of people were on the coast. Most of the world's people live on the coast. They saw that a huge tsunami had formed. but the people were oblivious to danger. The man turned to the Lord and said, what will happen to the people? And the Lord said, perhaps I will save some of them. After that, shortly, I had a dream. A man was on a tall hill and he was running back and forth, and it was pitch black, and the Lord wasn't with him. I mentioned to you guys there were prophecies that the grid was going to go down, and the Lord wasn't there in California. I want to try this. Did you guys see these probiotic drinks? I think they're like little yogurt drinks. Let's try it. I will tell you. Oh, it doesn't look very thick. It's not bad. They're not too expensive, about 50 cents each. Okay, Revelations 8:12. The fourth angel sounded, and a third of the sun, and a third of the moon, and a third of the stars were struck, so that a third of them would be darkened. And the day would not shine for a third of them, and the night the same. Okay, there's been prophecies that we're going to have 3 days of darkness, supernatural darkness. Perhaps it's referring to a darkening of the people, more evil people. And my son and I talk about this a lot. If there's some kind of darkening, just stay in the house. Revelations 8:9. Oh, and also it could be an eclipse. Okay, Revelations 8:9. And a third of the creatures which were in the sea and had life died, and a third of the ships were destroyed. When we see this stuff start happening, another thing to take away from this, if the fish and the beasts cannot live because of the water, or there is no water, or the environment, then neither can people. Okay, so I just want to mention 2 things. One, when you're thinking about ever having to prepare for evacuating your pets, I think it was a hurricane in Florida, the little old ladies wouldn't leave they wouldn't let them take their pets, they wouldn't leave. Cash, including change, and radio, like transistor radio with batteries. Okay, you guys, I hope you guys walked with me. God bless you all.